Hello, friends. Welcome to our new chapter, that is ratio analysis. We have till now classified the balance sheet into various asset side, into various assets and various liabilities. What was the purpose of doing this categorization? The purpose of this categorization, not only of balance sheet, but other figures of profit and loss and other figures of the business also. The purpose was to analyze the various ratios. We will learn to calculate from this ratio analysis chapter. So, ratio analysis is simply the analysis of various facts and figures provided in the financial returns of the proponent. Okay, now we see what is the purpose of ratio analysis. Okay, hello. Now we move to the importance of ratio analysis. Simply, we may say that ratio analysis is a tool which enables the lender or the banker to arrive at the following factors. Ratio analysis is the tool in the hands of banker or the lender to arrive at the following factors. First, liquidity factor, liquidity position. Second one, profitability position. Third one, solvency position of the company or the firm or the proprietor. Financial stability, quality of the management and security of the loan. We will move one by one, saying that what ratios will be calculated to find the liquidity position of the company. What ratios are to be calculated to find out the profitability ratio of the company, and so on. So, we will now move stepwise on various importance or various categorization of ratio analysis. Ratio analysis can be divided in four main types. First one is liquidity ratio, which provide us the position of liquidity or the position of cash in the hands of the borrower to repay the loan. Second one, leverage ratio. Leverage ratio means this ratio is calculated to evaluate the strength of any firm to raise long-term loans. How much long-term loans can be raised by this firm on the basis of or on the strength of its own net worth, on the strength of its capital and free reserves. Third one, activity ratio. This ratio is calculated, these ratios are calculated to examine the efficiency. What is the efficiency of the company? What is the efficiency of the borrower? This is to be calculated on the basis of the activity ratio. And fourth one, profitability ratio, means what is the position of gross profit on sales? What will be the position of net profit on sales? What will be the return on investment? And so on. So, we may categorize the total ratio analysis in four types of ratios. And now we will move to Individual type of ratio means what ratios are calculated under the head liquidity ratio. What ratios will be calculated under the head ratio analysis, yeah, leverage ratio, and what ratios are under activity ratio and what will be the ratios under profitability ratio. The first type of ratio is liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio is to be calculated to know the liquidity position of the firm or the company or the proprietor or the proponent. What is the liquidity position? It means what amount is readily available with the proponent to repay the current liabilities. This is called liquidity ratio. Under this ratio, we are bound to calculate two ratios, only two ratios. One is current ratio and second one is acid test ratio. This ratio is calculated in all the working capital loans. All the working capital loans. Kindly remember. This ratio is also calculated for working capital loan. Okay. Some two more workings are to be done here on the basis of liquidity position. One is net working capital and second one is working capital gap. These are not the ratios, but after calculating these will help in calculating other ratios in future or to be taught in next slide. Okay. Second one, that is leverage ratio. Leverage ratio. It is also called solvency ratios. It is also called solvency ratio. Under this ratio, we will see in this chapter the main ratio, that is debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio. One more ratio will be taught here, will be discussed here, that is DSCR. That is DSCR. Debt service coverage ratio. This is called DSCR, debt सर्विस कवरेज रेशियो। तो हम लोग यहाँ पर दो तरह के अलग रेशियो देखेंगे। पहला नाम होगा डेप्ट इक्विटी रेशियो और दूसरा होगा डेप्ट सर्विस कवरेज रेशियो। आप ये ध्यान दे रहे हैं कि इनके सॉल्वेंसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये निकाला जा रहा है कि कंपनी कितना सॉल्वेंट है अपने लोन का रिपेमेंट करने के लिए, कंपनी के पास कितना असेट है, दोनों मिला के करेंट असेट्स एंड फिक्स्ड असेट टू रिपे द इंटायर लोन, मीन्स टर्म लोन्स एंड वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन ऑल्सो। ओके, तो ये दोनों हम लोग लीवरेज रेशियो में कैलकुलेट करेंगे। थर्ड वन, दिस इज एक्टिविटी रेशियो। Activity ratio. Activity ratio is the ratio which indicates that how the company is functioning, that how the action of the company is going on, that how the company is acting, and we will compare it by the various figures calculating from each other, or by comparing the various figures of the company, and we will also compare it from the other similar company running in the market. Under this activity ratio, the main ratio is inventory to sales, inventory to sales ratio, turnover, inventory to turnover ratio. Means, what is the position of stock and what is the position of sales? Whether the company is able to convert the inventory into turnover, whether the company is capable to convert the stock to sales, or the company is unable to make proper sale or as required by the company, and this results maximum inventory, minimum turnover. This is not a good sign. If inventory is less, turnover is higher, we may compare it from the other similar companies running in the market, what is their position, and we will compare it from there. Similarly, what is the position of debtors? Debtors ratio means कंपनी के पास ऐसे कितने लोग हैं, ऐसा कितना अमाउंट है जो कंपनी ने उधार बेचा है और अभी तक मिला नहीं है. तो ये रेशियो जो है वो हमेशा टर्नओवर पर निकाला जाता है. तो रेशियो ऑफ डेटर्स ऑन टर्नओवर, रेशियो ऑफ डेटर्स ऑन सेल्स, it shows that what is the percentage of credit sales out of total sales. Third one, creditors ratio. Creditors ratio ये किस पर निकाला जाएगा? ये निश्चित रूप से परचेज पर निकाला जाएगा. हम कितना उधार परचेज करते हैं, हम अपने क्रेडिटर्स को कितना पे कर पाते हैं, तो ये सब रेशियो कहीं ना कहीं एक दूसरे फिगर से, ये अलग फिगर होगा, ये अलग फिगर होगा, इन दोनों को आपस में मिला करके रेशियो निकालते हैं और कंपेयर करते हैं. सो एक्टिविटी रेशियो और 2-3 हो सकते हैं, जैसे करेंट डेटर्स वेलोसिटी, डेटर्स वेलोसिटी, क्रेडिटर्स वेलोसिटी, what is the time taken by the debtors in repaying their amount of credit sale, what the amount we have sold in credit, how much days we are getting in recovery. डेटर्स कितने दिनों में पैसा देते हैं वो डेटर्स वेलोसिटी में देखा जाता है. इसी तरह से क्रेडिटर्स वेलोसिटी में ये देखा जाता है कि हम जो सामान उधार खरीदते हैं तो हम कितने दिनों में उसे रिपे कर पाने की क्षमता रखते हैं, सो ऑन. तो ये हम लोग एक्टिविटी रेशियो में देखेंगे. फोर्थ वन, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेशियो. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी ratio. What is the position of earning of the company? What is the position of percentage of profit? What is the percentage of profit over sales? What is the position of gross profit over sale? What is the position of operating profit over sale? What is the position of return on equity? So, here we will calculate gross profit ratio. Gross profit ratio. Second, net profit ratio. Third one, operating profit ratio. And so on. So on. Okay? Now I request you to give some more attention because the main class is going to start from here. We have discussed so many ratios previously. Out of the discussed ratios, we will especially learn to calculate some ratios without which a banker cannot prepare any proposal. So, out of so many ratios discussed above, we are going to discuss especially these ratios. First one, current ratio. Current ratios. Second one, quick ratios. Quick ratio. Third one, debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio. Fourth one, DSCR. And fifth one, ISCR. These ratios are so much important that we cannot imagine any perfect proposal to be prepared without calculating these. So, we will minutely learn how to calculate these ratios. We shall also discuss here about net worth, tangible net worth, second one, tangible net worth, third one, working capital, fourth one, net working capital. Okay, kindly keep in mind that these are ratios, all are ended with the word R. These are ratios, and these are some other calculation to be calculated for calculating these ratios. Now, calculation of current ratio. Why this ratio is calculated? This ratio is calculated to measure the liquidity position liquidity position to measure the liquidity position of the proponent. What is the formula of this ratio? Formula: current asset divided by current liabilities. This is the formula of the ratio. Now, what is the ideal ratio given by the accountants? What should be the ideal ratios? Means, what ratio should come that we may consider the proposal for loan? The ideal ratio is 1.33 is to 1. Ideal ratio is 1.33 is to 1. So, it is very clear that when we have classified the current assets and current liabilities properly out of the balance sheet presented by the proponent, our current assets total is given in that calculation. We have also calculated current liabilities. Now, simply put the current assets above and current liabilities below and calculate the ratio. It should be 1.33 is to 1. If this ratio has been arrived, it means there is a good scope in financing the proponent. We have already discussed the current assets and current liabilities in our previous chapter, balance sheet analysis. To remind you, I just saying that current assets are those assets which are expected to realize within 12 months. Similarly, current liabilities are those liabilities which are expected to be paid within 12 months from the date of balance sheet. Okay. I had also given some examples what assets will come under current assets, what liabilities will come under current liabilities. So, if you have not gone through, kindly go to balance sheet analysis, where you can learn how the amount of current assets and current liabilities to be calculated. I think very clearly it is shown there, या मैंने आपको समझाया है कि करंट असेट्स और करंट लायबिलिटीज जिनका की निपटारा या जिनका मिलने का उम्मीद 12 महीने के अंदर आपको है, उसे ही करंट असेट्स और करंट लायबिलिटीज में रखते हैं. नाउ come to an illustration how current ratio is calculated. Here is a balance sheet given to you and requested you to calculate the current assets. Kindly go through the balance sheet. I think 7 items in liability side and 6 items in asset side are there. total is 550. You have to calculate current assets. Please remember the formula. Current asset means current asset means amount receivable within 12 months. Current liabilities means amount payable within 12 months. Ratio is current assets by current liabilities. Now, where you arrived? Have you calculated the current assets as 255 and current liabilities as 88? Current asset is $255. Here, current asset means cash, receivables, stocks, and prepaid expenses. 1 plus 125 plus 128 plus 1, that is 255. And current liability is bank overdraft 38, creditors 26, provision for taxes and proposed dividend. So, current asset will be 255 and current liabilities will be 88. When divided, the result will be 2.89 is to 1. This is the correct ratio. Now you have to think the ideal ratio is 1.33 is to 1. So, whether we will move to the proposal for financing the loan or not, this is a matter of thinking. Now, second ratio, that is quick ratio. Quick. This is also called acid test ratio. This is also calculated to check the liquidity position of the proponent. So, what is the formula? The formula to calculate the quick ratio is quick asset, quick asset by current liabilities. Quick asset means current asset, which you have learned in last illustration also, minus stock plus prepaid expenses. Okay, quick asset means current asset, which was, as you remember, in last illustration it was 255. उसमें से स्टॉक और प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस को हटा दीजिए, तो द अमाउंट यू विल अराइव एट will be shown here. Quick asset divided by current liabilities, as current liability was shown in the previous example also. What will be the ideal ratio? Ideal ratio is 1.00 is to 1.00, means 1 is to 1. Ideal ratio is 1 is to 1. Again, quick ratio to measure the liquidity position, just like current ratio. Formula क्विक असेट बाय करंट लायबिलिटीज. क्विक असेट में कौन कौन से आइटम आएंगे? सारे वो आइटम आएंगे जो करंट असेट में आए थे, बट उसमें से स्टॉक और प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस को हटा देना है. वी हैव टू माइनस द स्टॉक एंड प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस. करंट लायबिलिटीज will be same as in the previous example, or will be as calculated in current ratio. Ideal ratio will be 1:1. Okay friends. Now, are you ready to calculate quick ratio? Okay. Here is the same example which was given to calculate the current ratio. Now you have to calculate quick ratio. What is the formula? Quick asset by current liability. Please calculate. Done. What is the quick asset? 1 plus 125. Cash and receivable. Because stock and prepaid expenses are not correct quick asset. Okay. As per example or as per formula, 255 minus 128 minus 1. So it will be 126. And what will be the current liability? You have also calculated. It is same as in the previous example. We arrived at 88, I think. Okay. Now, come to the answer part. Quick asset 125 plus 1, 126, divided by current liability, that is 88, and the ratio is 1.43 is to 1. Now compare it from the ideal ratio. What was the ideal ratio given for quick ratio? 1:1. Okay. Now come to debt equity ratio. As the name indicates, it is debt to equity. It is debt to equity. If we understand the meaning of debt and equity, the ratio will be easier. So, this ratio is calculated to know the position of repayment of debt. Debt means repayment of outside liabilities. जो मैंने बाहर के लोगों से लिया है या जो मुझे बाहर के लोगों को चुकाना है. बाहर के लोग क्या मीनिंग? कंपनी के मालिक को छोड़ के बाकी जो भी पेमेंट हमें करना है, मालिक का अमाउंट को छोड़ देना है. तो जो भी अमाउंट हमें बाहरी लोगों को चुकाना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड डेप्ट. That is also called outside liabilities. And this outside liability will be divided by the equity. Equity means owner's share, जो मालिक का हिस्सा है. ओके. तो हम लोग डेप्ट इक्विटी रेशियो क्यों निकालते हैं? ताकि ये पता चले कि इस कंपनी का जो डेप्ट है, जो आउटसाइडर्स को पे करना है, उतना पैसा मालिकों के पास है कि नहीं, उतना पैसा इक्विटी के रूप में है कि नहीं। एंड दिस इज कैलकुलेटेड इन डेप्ट इक्विटी रेशियो। ये जितना कम रहेगा उतना अच्छा है। जैसे अगर ये 4:1 है, मतलब 4 रुपया पेमेंट करने के लिए हमारे पास 1 ही रुपये का इक्विटी है। तो डेप्ट इक्विटी रेशियो में हम लोग ये ध्यान देते हैं कि इसके पास कितना अमाउंट है, लास्टली कितना पैसा बचता है मालिक के पास, जिससे कि ये चुका पाएगा इन वर्स्ट कंडीशन ऑफ द कंपनी। ओके, तो डेप्ट इक्विटी रेशियो is the ratio which compares the percentage of company's debt to the equity. So debt equity ratio is debt divided by equity. Formula: total outside liabilities divided by equity. Equity means tangible net worth. That's why I had said earlier that we will also calculate tangible net worth. Now, total outside liabilities means बैलेंस शीट के लायबिलिटी साइड में जितना भी अमाउंट लिखा हुआ है जो कि बाहरी लोगों को देना है, मीन्स उन लोगों को देना है जो कंपनी के मालिक नहीं हैं, वो सब के सब यहाँ आएंगे। टोटल आउटसाइड लायबिलिटीज डिवाइडेड बाय जो जो छूट गया था लायबिलिटी साइड में, वो क्या था, मालिक का हिस्सा, कैपिटल, फ्री रिजर्व, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, इन सब को टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ में लिखते हैं। तो टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ, अब थोड़ा सा टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ एक बार और देख लीजिए। टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ, कैपिटल प्लस रिजर्व्स प्लस प्रॉफिट माइनस इंटेंजिबल असेट, इंटेंजिबल असेट, कैपिटल प्लस रिजर्व्स प्लस प्रॉफिट माइनस इंटेंजिबल असेट। तो दिस इज द फॉर्मूला, दिस इज द फॉर्मूला टोटल आउटसाइड लायबिलिटी बाय टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ। इसका अर्थ ये हुआ कि इसमें असेट साइड के टोटल से कोई मतलब नहीं है, हमें सिर्फ लायबिलिटी साइड बैलेंस शीट का जो है उससे मतलब है। उसमें या तो ये अमाउंट इसमें आएगा या अमाउंट इसमें आएगा। अगर वो बाहरी लोगों को देना है तो इसमें लिखिए, और यदि मालिक को देना है, प्रोप्राइटर्स को देना है, तो इसमें लिखिए। और इसके बाद जो इसका टोटल आएगा उसमें से असेट साइड का सिर्फ इंटेंजिबल असेट्स, तो इसका फॉर्मूला है टोटल आउटसाइड लायबिलिटी बाय टेंजिबल नेटवर्थ। इसमें ध्यान ये रखना है कि इसका आइडियल क्या है। आइडियल रेशियो 3:1, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। आइडियल रेशियो जो अपने बैंक में, मतलब बैंक ऑफ इंडिया में जो लागू है वो है 3:1, ये आइडियल माना जाता है। तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट डेब्ट इक्विटी रेशियो, द थर्ड रेशियो, and now you will calculate the debt equity ratio. Okay. Okay. Now, this is the term for revision of calculation of debt equity ratio. In the given example, you have to calculate debt equity ratio for the first year. Then, first of all, we have to remember debt equity ratios formula. What was that? Debt by debt by equity. Equity means tangible net worth. Tangible net worth. Okay, debt. Debt means amount payable to outsiders. Then, where we get the debt or amount payable to outsider? Only in liability side of the balance sheet. So, you have to go through the liability side of the balance sheet, entire amount for the first year, which amount is written here are the liabilities to be paid to the outsiders or the owners. Then you have to find out the amount which are payable to outsiders. Then capital will be paid to owner, reserve will be paid to owner, bank term loan outsider, bank cash credit outsider, in long term loan outsider, everything is outsider except first two. So total amount of debt will be 1160. Total amount will be 11, debt is equal to 1160. And tangible net worth, you have to calculate this one very sharply. Keeping in mind the formula. The formula was, tangible net worth calculations formula was amount payable to proprietor minus intangible asset. Then amount payable we are seeing here that capital and reserves only 440. 440. Capital is 300, reserves is 140. 440 amount payable to the proprietor. We have to deduct the tangible asset from this amount. What is tangible asset for the first year? Goodwill. Goodwill is rupees 50 only. Then you have to deduct goodwill. What amount will you get? 390. So we have to divide debt by tangible net worth, means 1160 by 390, that will be 2.97. That will be 2.97 my is to 1. Okay, I think if you will do this exercise 3 times more times, the entire mathematics will be set in your mind. Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, one more ratio. This is called DSCR. DSCR. This is very important ratio and necessarily to be computed at the time of sanction of any term loan. Term loan where the borrower is bound to repay the installment which includes interest plus principal amount. So, we have to calculate here the ability of the borrower to repay the EMI, इक्वेटेड मंथली इंस्टॉलमेंट रिपेमेंट करने की कैपेसिटी उसकी है भी या नहीं, ये हम लोग निकालने के लिए, देखने के लिए इस रेशियो को कैलकुलेट करते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड डेब्ट सर्विस कवरेज रेशियो. सो इन दिस रेशियो we calculate the ability of the proponent to repay the installment and the interest amount out of the operating profit or operating income. So, DSCR we will be calculating here. The ideal ratio should be 2:1. In some banks, it is 1.50:1. Okay. So, ideal ratio, we will see here, this will be our ideal ratio. Okay. Now, come to the formula. The formula of DSCR is PAT plus depreciation plus interest whole year by EMI whole year. What is the formula? Please give your attention here. PAT plus depreciation plus interest. Interest for the whole year divided by equated monthly installments whole year means interest plus installment whole year. Here every term is clear except this one. This should be profit after tax. Means net profit. Profit after deduction of all the expenses and even payment of tax should be PAT. Then you have to write PAT plus depreciation plus interest divided by EMI. Okay. Then now come to an illustration. Yes, PAT means profit after tax, and in the example it is written as net operating profit. So the amount is 1,50,000. No depreciation is given in the illustration, so no amount will be added here. Interest amount provided 55,000. Okay, 55,000. Then only two items will be upper items. 1,50,000 plus 55,000. And below EMI. EMI means interest plus installment. Interest already 55,000 and installment is 35,000. So 2,05,000 divided by 90,000 is equal to 2.3:1. So on this way we have calculated the DSCR. Now, as per my commitment, this is the last ratio we are going to calculate in this chapter. This is interest service coverage ratio or ISCR, interest service coverage ratio. Okay, this is to be calculated in all the working capital loans. Previous one was DSCR and that we were calculating for term loans. This ISCR we will calculate for working capital loan. Okay, then what will be the formula for this? PAT. What is the full form of PAT? Profit after tax. PAT plus depreciation plus interest for year, whole year, divided by interest yearly. Okay. In the last example of DSCR, here we had written EMI, but in this we will write interest only, not installment, because in working capital loans interest only will be served by the borrower. No installment is payable by the borrower. Okay.